Welcome to New Kids on the Baize. We're trying to find the best young under-16 player that the UK can produce. £1,000 to the winner, and also a chance to play me. Ronnie O'Sullivan will be playing the winner on every occasion, and we're now going to have a look at the draw. So far, Lee Spick and James Reynolds are through to the semi-finals. We've got Stephen Maguire and Barry Hawkins to play tonight, and Jonathan Lewis and Robert Donkin are actually going to be playing next week. Stephen Maguire and Barry Hawkins, let's meet them.
Yeah, I was about 9 and my dad played. We had a table upstairs in my grandad's and that. Just played up there until we played in the full size table. And I just took it from there.
What's your ambition in snooker?
Number 1, obviously. Turn professional right away as soon as I'm 17. Do well.
My favourite player is Jimmy White because it's very exciting to watch and he entertains people. I like the way he plays. Well, I'd like to get into the top 16 and then a decent living and hopefully become world champion one day.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing from Glasgow, 13-year-old Stephen Maguire. And his opponent from West Dulwich in London, 15-year-old Barry Hawkins. Bill Taplin is our referee, and in the commentary box we have Ronnie O'Sullivan and Mark Wildman. See you in a while.
So, the third match in the quarter-final stages of the Kids on the Baize Championship.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
8 best players,
First 3, Barry Hawkins to break.
16 years and under, fighting it out for the first prize of £1,000. We'll have them qualified, and this is best of 3, and it is 15-year-old Barry Hawkins from London to break. 15 years of age, playing 13 years of age. That is Stephen Maguire from Milton, which is in the suburbs of Glasgow. He's been playing snooker for about 3 years. He's had a 111 break in competition. And he's played a little bit with Scottish pro Alan McManus. So, if he's taken anything from Alan McManus's book or repertoire, it might be he might have the killer instinct. As we all know, young McManus has. First blood to Barry Hawkins.
1.
And Barry Hawkins from London surely must have played against the guy sitting in the commentary box next to me, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Have you played him, Ronnie?
1.
No, I've never played him before. I've heard a lot about him. He's one of the top up-and-coming and junior players. And by the way, he put that first red. It's pretty useful.
And has rolled up behind the brown. That spells trouble for the young Scot. Oh, has he left the red on just behind the black, between the black and cushion? I don't think he has. But if he has, there's some points to be scored here. Having a close look. In fact, he's having to stand away from the table. It's that fine. Has decided that it goes in the end. Now he's having another look. He might have to squeeze it with a little bit of left-hand side on the ball. Right-hand side, rather. Good shot. Good shot. Couldn't quite see it. A little touch of side on it, just twisted the ball as it made contact.
8. 9.
That's Barry's mum and dad. This is the first left-handed player in the tournament, in the competition proper stages. This is a very, very innovative and unusual tournament featuring the best of the junior players. See plenty of the top professional players. You're now having your first look at the youngsters playing under very, very competitive circumstances. Television lights, big money, big crowd, and a lot of fame attached to this. So know, of course, that they're going to be seen on Wire TV. And that means an awful lot to them. No doubt they'll all go home with a nice little TV capsule, a private recording tape for themselves.
1.
Stunning that black in, leaving himself a difficult red in the middle.
8.
Tough shot this.
Steve McGuire.
Just catching the far bump.
So, only 13 years of age. Mum and Dad come down from Scotland to watch him. Got a sister there, Jacqueline, as well. There we are. That's Patrick McGuire.
I did think about that, actually.
Playing a shot to nothing now. Taking the red on and getting the white back towards the bulk.
So the two players in the early stages of this three-frame match, one is going through to the semi-finals, and that was incidentally a particularly good shot, advanced thinking situation, playing safe and at the same time breaking up the reds, trying to keep a safety position, but hoping that he can get in and take advantage from splitting up those reds. That's from the youngster, 13-year-old MAGUIRE from Glasgow, and it's strange that he should play that shot because Barry Hawkins, whom he is playing, the left-hander, has got a very, very high reputation. He's won the Junior Pot Black 1994, and he's the one that should have the advance in strategy, and he would be favourite starting this match. But as we saw in the first quarter-final, the first match of the series, we saw young Lee Spick, aged 13 years of age, come along and knock out somebody who was expected to win, one of the tournament favourites, Paul Hunter. It doesn't always go with age and experience.
Foul. Steve McGuire, 4.
And 4 points given away by Barry, playing safe, and tending to think, Ronnie, sits next to me, that you're probably better off playing Ronnie O'Sullivan's style of snooker over 3 frames. Surely you've got to knock balls in, haven't you? And we saw with Lee Spick going for everything.
Yeah, you would have thought these players being young that all they could see is potting balls, but I mean they watch telly so much on, they watch snooker so much on the telly that they're playing the game the way it should be played, which is a credit to them, because when I was 12 and 13 and even now I still go for a shot that some people say, oh, you shouldn't go for, but I just, if you fancy it, you go for it. And I think when you watch Lee Spick, he took that approach, and he shook Paul Hunter and put him out of his stride. I think it unsettled him a bit, but still nice to see the different styles of play. I like the way this he cues up, keeps his cue very level, going through the ball, and I find with left-handed players, they're all very stylish. They've got, if you watch Jimmy White, the most stylish player of anybody in the world, he's left-handed, and I find that with most left-handers, they're very sort of like naturally looking, make the game look easy, and he's certainly making it look very easy here. Doesn't bring the cue back very far, which enables him to keep more accurate. And black here.
Some of the left-handed players seem to be just a little bit heavy and restricted, whereas Jimmy's exceptionally finely tuned.
14.
Touch like a butterfly.
I think that's because he's been playing the game for maybe 20 years. These kids are still young, and they've got a lot to learn. I think that eventually, the more and more he practices, he'll find that groove that you get when you get older. But still, he looks very comfortable on the shot.
Actually,
15.
Jimmy was playing at 16 years of age as he plays today. Just, I was there.
Yeah, I know. Jimmy's very stylish, and he's probably like one of him comes along every 20 years, and as you can see, very accurate with his pots. None of them hitting the knuckles, and chance of a sizable break here.
22.
Break going to 22. This nearest rate, I think, is the one he's looking at. I think it goes into both the corner pocket and the middle pocket. He's not yet made up his mind where he's going to knock it in, or try to knock it in.
23.
It hasn't worked out, so presumably a safety shot.
Brown ball.
Off the brown behind the green.
Barry Hawkins.
So got himself nice in the lead, Barry Hawkins. That's his band of supporters, including his manager there and his sister. 15 years of age as a manager. We had 12-year-old Sean Murphy, who was the loser in the previous quarterfinal, who had a sponsor and a manager. So they start young. How much younger can they start, Ronnie?
Well, they can start at any age, really. I mean, I've seen players of 8, 9, 10 at the club that I play come in playing the game, but it's restricted where you have to be 16 before you can turn professional. I had that problem when I believed I was good enough at 15 to compete. They wouldn't let me because obviously you had to be 16, and I was even going to be frozen out for another year because my birthday fell short of the closing date. So
1.
good shot there. Just overhitting that a little bit.
7.
Trying to leave himself on the top red of those 3 there. Into the corner pocket. These tables are very fast. And I'm sure these young players are not used to the speed of this table. But so far they've coped very well.
Stephen Maguire, 7.
So as the years go on, these players seem to evolve into century break makers much earlier than in times of yore. But the facilities now, of course, have changed somewhat. Back 20 years ago, you couldn't really go and play snooker because most clubs were licensed clubs, and the licensing laws prevented anyone under the age of 18 or sometimes 16, I suppose, going in. And now, of course, plenty of clubs up and down the country that encourage boys and girls to play as soon as they can see over the table, so to speak. So things have changed and the game has evolved, and therefore players reach maturity at the game at a much younger age, something I suppose akin to tennis. And when they get young and they've got the bee in their bonnet and they feel they can get somewhere, they'll go in there and they'll practice. 10 in the morning till 5, 6 at night during the school
1.
holidays. That's why they get so good.
When I was younger, in the 6 weeks holidays, there wasn't a minute that I wasn't playing snooker. I was playing maybe from 10 in the morning till 1 in the morning. I just used to live in snooker halls. But that was in the
Hawkins,
school
1.
holidays. And when I was at school, I had a very strict mother that would not allow me to go to the holiday camps when I had school. Wouldn't allow me to take days off for tournaments to play top amateurs. And I used to think that was the baddest and the worst thing that was possible. I thought I had a horrible mum, but at the end of the day, I finished my school, and it's all turned out great for me, really. I couldn't have wished it any better. But I can understand young snooker players of 14 and 15 not wanting to go to school. I never enjoyed school. I used to detest it. But I think it's important that they get their education first, because there's plenty of time to become a snooker player. It is difficult out there, so I mean it would be nice if you had an education to fall back on, because it's not as easy as it looks. So I mean I think it's important that they either finish school and get the qualifications, because at the end of the day it all matters when you get to the age of 21, 22. That's when you're the finished article. It doesn't matter what you can do when you're 12, 13, 14, 15 or when you're 16. It's when you've learnt your trade, you're 21, 22, and then you just have to take it by there. And I believe finishing school was the right thing for me. It's turned out right. I'm not saying it is the right decision, but there's time for snooker. There's time for everything.
So an important message there then, from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Well, you're 19 now, Ronnie.
No, I'm 18.
18.
Yeah, I'll be 19 in December.
Yeah.
Getting old.
Well, 19 happens to be the number of points on the board at this moment for Stephen Maguire. And that means he's 24 points adrift
That was a very important statistic there,
from
Mark, that
Barry
you gave out.
Hawkins.
That makes him 24 points behind. Well done. I remember a song, No, 19. that flick on the blue was a good nudge really, because these two reds on the right hand side, it's in favour. That's a good shot. Well, the red's gone over the hole, but he's avoided kissing them two reds out, which he doesn't want to do. He wants to leave them there. At the moment he's in a strong position, 24 points ahead. If he'd have moved them reds out with that safety shot, this frame could have been, well, it could have got him right back in the frame, but as I can see, there's still only two open reds, so he'd do well
One.
to score from here. Nice angle on the green to go up towards either the red on the left hand side of the table or the red on the bottom cushion. I wouldn't like to say which one he's going to play for. It all depends on what you fancy. I prefer the reds out in the open. Yes, he's played for that. That's a great shot, very well controlled. Leaving himself for the red either in the middle or into the corner.
4.
She looks very bored with it all. Alison Fisher. Great shot.
5.
I think he's going to take this pink on. No? He's thinking. Playing the yellow.
Steve Maguire, 5.
Well, not a bad choice of shot. I would have thought he'd have took the pink on, because all he could have left was the one red, and having the other two tied up, he wasn't really standing to lose a lot. Catching that red a bit thick. Killing the pace in the white. Two reds I was on about tied up, and they're both in to play. That's in Stephen's favour. Him being the chaser, 19 points behind. Covering the red on the right hand side with the brown and the blue. Requires a good shot here. Where's that red going? Good chance of Barry here.
One.
Good angle on the blue. So either stun down for the red by the yellow and the black, or the red on the side cushion. Playing for the red in the open.
6. Seven.
Nice cannon on the black. I don't know whether it has the hanger on the black to run it in behind the red. Slight heavy contact there. I think he must have got a kick. The white not going as far forward as he would like, but still you would
14.
expect Barry to win the frame from this visit. Oh.
Barry Hawkins, 14.
Well, that was the ball that he needed, really, to take the first game. 33 points in it.
Well, that break was indeed enough for Barry Hawkins to take the first frame of this quarter-final.
So welcome back to the Thornbury Leisure Centre for the second frame of the semi-final battle between, breaking off there, Stephen Maguire and Barry Hawkins. Barry Hawkins won the first frame quite comfortably, playing very well, very steady. Left-handed, seemed to be coping very, very well with this unusual exposure onto television lights in an under-16 tournament with a lot of money at stake for 16-year-olds, and of course it's been played under television lights. Stephen Maguire has it all to do. Didn't play too badly actually, but Hawkins' form impressive to say the least. Barry Hawkins first in. There's a red goes into the middle, going up for the blue, I think.
1.
Lovely stroke this boy's got. Seems to have all the time in the world, and I suppose that's the secret to it. We often say how great individual ball players. You can pick out the ones that are great because they seem to be so slow in what they're doing. It's all so easy, they make a lot of space for themselves. Footballers, tennis players, etc. But difficult to relate it to snooker, but it is the same at snooker as well. The great players make it look so easy. That's the Hawkins fan club. And they've got plenty to be cheerful about.
7.
The way this guy's playing, Ronnie, he's got to have a chance. That's assuming he gets through this round, he's got to have a chance. He's looking very good.
I would say so far, what I've seen is I wouldn't say the best, but he looks the most comfortable out there. He is playing very well.
14.
As all have so far in this tournament. But I would say that he looks very composed, sure of what he's doing.
He doesn't look uncomfortable in his dress suit attire, which suggests he's done all this before, and of course he has. He won the 94 Pop Black, Junior Pop Black, didn't he?
That's right, that was always my ambition as a junior, was to win Hemsby, the Pop Black. I never did, and I was I always missed it by semi-final. I was in the final before, and that is a good title to have won. Getting to the final's good, but no one remembers someone who comes second. So winning that last one is good, so he knows how to win, which is important. Some people get there and just can't finish it off. This is very good. If he wins this match, I can say I'm honestly not looking forward to playing him.
31.
I think Barry's 15 years of age, going on 21.
38.
Very mature snooker.
This is the big one. That was the big one.
Barry Hawkins, 38.
I don't think he went for a pot there. I think he just played safe. A lot of players would have been negative and tried to just keep the pack tight. But Barry being so confident, knowing that if he gets another chance, he's going to score a few points. that he didn't mind opening the balls up.
He didn't think twice about committing himself to this shot either, suggesting that he's brimming with confidence. And that, I suppose, is the time when you have to be just that little bit more careful.
I remember playing a game when I was 11 years of age, playing a fellow professional, Steve Newbury. I was 2-1 up, about 60 points in front with 50 on the table, and I was looking around the hall that we was playing in, smiling to myself and to my father, and my father said to me, "You need snookers," and I didn't know what he meant, but I did towards the end of the match because he ended up getting the snookers, winning the frame and winning the final game. He ended up winning the tournament. That learnt me a valuable lesson. So even though Barry's 40 points in front, 38, you still got to be careful, because this is when people like Stephen can be at their most dangerous, when they have their back to the wall, nothing to lose, they feel they're out, and they get given a second lease of life, and they just seem to pot everything. I'm not sure if Stephen can get through to this red, but if he can, he'll be trusting to a bit of luck. Don't think he can hold for the black because it's too fine of a cut. So maybe going into the reds, or I'm not sure. Or just hitting that one a little bit too hard. He should have really tried to stroke that in, losing the control of the white by hitting it so hard. If he'd have made sure of the pot, trusted to a bit of luck, maybe that was the better option. James.
1.
Barry in with a fine opportunity to kill this frame off.
Eight. 9.
That's young Stephen. I think he's contemplating coping with the disappointment of losing this match. I think he already senses that he's going out. He's
16.
54 points adrift now, and Barry's still at the table in absolute prime position. No way he's going to miss that
17.
one. Could have come away a little bit further off the cushion there.
Stephen has nothing to be ashamed of. Barry's played very well here. Oh.
Barry Hawkins, 17.
Stephen has another chance here. The black fairly near to the corner pocket, a red near the centre pocket. Can Stephen?
One.
Feel he's gonna have to get the furniture out here again.
Chunk.
Has a red into the middle, pops his black, comes off the top cushion, leave himself the red in the middle. It's the only red I can see that's available at the moment. Nice shot there from Stephen. He's still not out of this. You find with 99% of Scottish people
8.
that they're hard as nails.
Nine.
Nice shot there, controlling the screw back very well, leaving himself an angle to pot this black. I don't know whether one of these reds, if he leaves the white low enough that will go into the corner. If one does, it's tight. Oh, that's unlucky. There's a little gap between these two reds, so
16.
if it's close to plant, it could be made. Not sure. No, he didn't. More interested in getting the white safe.
Stephen Maguire, 16.
.39 in front then, Barry Hawkins. Let off the hook there a little bit by Stephen.
1.
Just trying to apply the finishing touches to this match. Not there yet though. Stephen may get another chance. There's an awkward black on for Barry. And there doesn't appear to be any way that he can get onto a red either. So Stephen will have at least one more purposeful visit to the table.
Eight.
63 plays 16.
Barry Hawkins, 8.
57 points the difference. 59 on the table. That moves the pink into play. Oh, no, it doesn't. Not very much anyhow. It's only the pink really of the colours that is difficult. And just one red near to the side cushion. I'm just looking at the clearance possibilities for Stephen Maguire. You can see this red. And may play this with topspin to stop on the black. Or may go back for one of those other colours. Doesn't have to stop on the black.
One.
That looks to be very unlucky. Good
5.
brown there. Just short of pace of being able to pop the red in the middle. Still has this long red.
Six.
A timely fluke there. Just what he needed. Maybe he'll start to feel things again his way.
This is the big one though, isn't it, surely?
He's
Good
potted
shot.
the big one.
Oh, well, no, he didn't commit though for position on that right up by the middle.
13.
Good point.
Stephen Maguire, 13.
That white was so close to that corner. If that would have dropped, it could have been end of story. But he's still in there, fighting away. Has he covered that red with a brown? Looks as if... not really sure from here. I think if he would have covered it, he would be playing the other red because it's in his favour to get the other red out. So this must be potable. Yes.
1.
Good angle here on the blue to just put some topspin onto the white ball. Potting the blue into the yellow pocket. Coming off the top cushion with quite a bit of pace to knock the red off the side cushion. Tough shot, but he's capable of it. There you are, he's played it. Just unlucky with the cannon on the red. But he's
6.
careful with the way he goes about his job, but he's very attacking. Wouldn't surprise me if he went for this red, but there's a nice easy safety shot stunning the white behind the pink. Yes, kiss on the blue would be nice.
Stephen Maguire, 6.
I think he can just get through to the red. .28 points in Barry's favour. Very glum look on Barry's face. Sign of a true champion.
So this could be it. 28 points adrift, and this red, and young Stephen Maguire would require snookers. And as is often the case, just that final extra centimetre of effort seems to elude players. That's all he needed actually for a place in the semi-finals.
Is if he's covered the red with the pink.
They get self-doubt, don't they, Ronnie? He's been hanging around the finishing line for some time now, this young man, and they begin to doubt that they actually got to get over it.
Like I said, he's won a major tournament on the junior circuit, the UK. So he's obviously, to win it, he's knows how to get over the winning line. Finds it easier than most players, but this being televised and having all these family and friends in the crowd, he's just trying maybe that little extra too hard. He's been quite fortunate there to have snookered Stephen. But surely this spells the end for young Stephen. He's put up a brave fight. He's just playing someone that was a little bit more experienced than him. But I'm sure he's another star of the future.
Three.
Where's that yellow going?
Harry Hawkins, 3.
So Barry Hawkins takes his place in the semi-finals of New Kids on the Baize. He'll be joining Lee Spick and James Reynolds, with Jonathan Lewis still to play Robert Donkin. Now a chance to see Barry Hawkins against Ronnie O'Sullivan. We join it with O'Sullivan leading 21 points to 17.
Only 4 points in the game at the moment. Now you see how tightly Ronnie O'Sullivan kept the pack there. Didn't want to let any red stray across to this side of the table, just in case a ball does go past. It's very difficult to see from here whether a ball does go. Can squeeze past that black ball. It seemed to be able to, but we'll soon know now if it does, because we may see Ronnie try it. I don't know. Depends how he feels. No, I don't think it does.
One.
Ronnie just looking to see if he can pot the black, but he's got a chance of this pink and then the red over the middle pocket. Ronnie O'Sullivan moving into an 11-point lead. But if he can clear the loose reds, there's only a couple on the top cushion that will prove any problem. He'd be home and dry in this frame, and would have continued a 100% record against the new kids on the Baize. His challenge matches. Looking as fluid as ever once he's amongst the balls.
15.
Ronnie O'Sullivan not wasting any time. He's been through this situation
16.
many times before, clearing the colours and clearing the reds around the black, working the white ball, keeping it under control.
$23. 24. $30. 31.
Another red required. And then Barry Hawkins requires
38.
snookers.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 38.
22 points in the game. 43 points on the table. There's a chance for Barry Hawkins.
1.
And I would suggest, Mark, that he's perfectly capable of getting on the red, getting on the black, and then coming up for the yellow, and it's then down to the blue.
Barry
Well, I
Hawkins,
agree
1.
with that, but then after missing that easy black, quite inexplicably so. So
1.
that's going to be it. He's had the big result, of course, today. His place assured into the semi-finals. He had a little chance, a little glimmer of hope of taking Ronnie O'Sullivan's scalp. His intention,
10.
Ronnie's, is to go through undefeated against these new kids on the Baize.
13.
So just a mop-up time.
17.
That's it. I don't think Barry
Ronnie
Hawkins is
O'Sullivan,
going to play again. Well, he is, but doesn't really serve any purpose. You can't win this game. It's Ronnie O'Sullivan's. He keeps up his unbeaten record by beating Barry Hawkins by 76 points to 18.
Well, unlucky Barry, but of course you're through to the semi-finals. But you had a chance there with 42 behind, 2 reds left. How did you feel when you missed the black?
I couldn't believe it. It's just I thought I'd pot it and just took my eye off the ball.
Were you sort of looking at the blue, thinking that was the problem ball already?
Yeah, and then I wasn't really concentrating on it.
Well, I suppose it's quite easy to believe that you sort of recovered from the loss and from the loss quite easily and get through to the next round. But you've also won through a match, and that was a bit of a light relief for you in some ways. But somewhere down the line, somebody's got to beat Ronnie, and you've got a chance if you can win your semi-final match to actually have another go at him. Ronnie, you're not taking these lightly, are you?
No, because one day they're going to be snapping up my heels and wanting to do the same to me, so I've got to put them in their place when I can.
Well, that's certainly the case, and that's the competitive spirit there is these days in the game of snooker. We'll see you next week on New Kids on the Baize. Goodbye.